Hi, this is Hanegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Bible Instrument broadcast with another Hank Unplugged short. In my last short, I talked about Believers Eastern Church and how they have an order of sisters called Sisters of Compassion. And I have now, in my travels in Southeast Asia, met many of them and had an opportunity to ask them why they do what they do. The first thing that strikes me in talking to these Sisters of Compassion, who I've seen firsthand working with lepers, the poor and the downtrodden, the least of these, my brethren, the poorest of the poor. I've watched them, and what strikes me about them is their selflessness and their humility. They work in the most difficult of circumstances. Can you imagine working in 120-degree heat or 110-degree heat? And these Sisters of Compassion are in the mud, so to speak. I mean, they're kneeling at the feet of lepers and cleaning their sores. You see the holes in the feet of lepers. You see the fingers that have disappeared, the toes that have disappeared. And you see the light of Christ, because these Sisters of Compassion have not only talked about Christ, but they have demonstrated Christ through their lives, through their selfless acts of service, through their diligence. To see them care for people that we might never even look at, because they're certainly not glamorous, at least not by some standards. But having an opportunity to speak to these people in various circumstances and not just speak to them, I took the time to look every one of them in the eyes. And in those eyes, I have seen the light of Christ. I've also seen hopelessness. I've seen their desperate desire to be prayed over. Mothers thrusting their babies in my direction so that I could just touch those babies and maybe make the sign of the cross or pray for those babies. It is extraordinary. And I'm in and out. In other words, I come, I go. Those Sisters of Compassion will be sleeping in the most humble of circumstances in the heat. I still have a sense of swatting away the flies, but then going in a car and no longer being tormented by the flies or the mosquitoes. But these Sisters of Compassion, while I was driving away, we're still there. And when I think about them, I think, wow, I'm going back to my hotel. They're going back to their hovel. But, and this is a big but great is their reward in eternity. I mean, they've grasped the reality of Pascha. They've grasped the reality of Christ's resurrection. And so they, like the martyrs, know that they too will be resurrected, immortal, imperishable, incorruptible, and they will get the crown of righteousness, the crown of glory, and the crown of life. So they're willing to endure hardship for the sake of the gospel, with eyes that look beyond time and space, eyes that truly pierce into the eternal spectrum. Thanks for tuning in.